is Ruslan, and this channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you.
We were gonna. I didn't know we were doing. I didn't know. Did you know we were starting?
Are we?
He's trying to do. He's doing that whole annoying thing.
We were told to start.
Where he does, but you know the thing how he does it, and he pretends like it's another show that's actually successful and people watch. And
he's doing that.
And he's doing that thing where he does it, and then we're like, oh, that's not the show. And just us see this because we're the only people who watch it. Just the three of us.
That's right.
Have you actually seen one? Have you seen one, Scott? Okay, I didn't know. I was hoping you watched it too. Okay. Cy watches it because he edits it. He watches it because he has to, not because he wants to. He's not a fan. He's getting not paid to do this.
He's getting not paid.
He's getting a lot of fake money. Monopoly dollars. He gets room and board.
He gets room and board. Yeah.
Well, this is the What You Gonna Want to Do podcast.
That's actually the name of it. Sorry, I hijacked that whole thing.
That's all right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
It needed to be whatever was said needed to be said. That is what it is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it was said.
Yeah,
we know how you feel now.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to leave. I've never had trouble telling people how I feel about certain things.
This is true.
Well, you want a little friction.
Why we have a podcast.
A little friction creates.
We have a podcast so I can air my grievances.
Apparently,
you won't get me started on topic.
We got a lot of friction here.
Hey, if this is just a place where I'm content.
You aired a lot with your Disney stuff last week.
Oh, so yeah. There was Disney, that. Yeah. The tirade on Disney.
Yeah. And everybody who's watching totally remembers it.
Totally remembers.
I'm sure they do.
It went viral.
The four of us in this room.
The four of us.
Well, at one point in the week, we lost views.
Yeah, how do you lose views? They were in the teens and then single digits.
Yep.
Single digits.
How do you unview a YouTube video?
They're back up now.
Are they?
Yeah. But not where they were.
About where they were before we lost them.
How do you unview?
How does that work?
I don't know.
Did they watch them backwards?
Perhaps they rewind it.
Rewind it. They rewind it. Perhaps they rewind it. Maybe they rewind it.
Well, I do have one correction to make from last week's
Who are you?
podcast. I'm, by the way, this is the What You Gonna Want to Do podcast, and I'm Kevin Clark.
He's Kevin Clark.
I'm Scott Weaver.
I'm Caleb Clark.
And that's that. Thanks for joining us.
Glad we got out of the way. Seamless.
But I do have one correction.
Oh.
When we're talking about Peter Pan's flight.
Yeah.
It wasn't my grandma who got hit in the butt by the ride. It was actually my mom.
Oh, no.
Which she was not happy about.
Oh, gosh.
So it was completely 180 from what I said it was. 360. Yeah. It was 180. We'll go 180. It was an about face.
360 means...
Yeah, all the way around.
Yeah.
180.
It was a 180 from
I didn't do a lot of science stuff in school.
But that's basically the only correction I have, I think.
Okay, well, tune in next time.
See what we have to correct from this one.
Oh, I thought we were just closing it.
I thought we were going to go ahead and
Good talk. We just need to get this video out real quick.
Short one tonight.
Yeah, that's all there is.
Yeah.
Since we started talking about Disney there, we are going to talk about amusement parks today.
Oh. That sounds like fun.
There's been a lot, people may not realize this, but amusement parks are a pretty big thing in Ohio.
Pretty big deal.
We've had several.
Yeah.
Several that have gone. Several that are still around. I mean, the big ones: Kings Island, Cedar Point. Cedar Point's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Kings Island has actually been around for a long time, but I mean, it started in our lifetime. So,
well,
unless we want to admit that we've been around a long time. I mean, one of the first years that it opened up, the Brady Bunch was there.
Oh, yeah.
Filmed episodes there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Brady Bunch. I watched a lot of it.
But
Wasn't the banana splits there?
I don't know.
What's banana splits?
It was like a kid show, and they had, the costume
Oh.
characters, and
The costume
It
bananas?
was on Saturday. They had,
We had bananas that were in
they had
pajamas.
like an ape and sunglasses. They had all these characters, and I thought they were a thing for a while on Saturday, cartoon type thing.
Yeah.
And I think they did an episode there or something. Or were affiliated with them for a bit.
Were there bananas?
I don't think so.
I know the name, and it sounds familiar, but I can't.
Oh.
There was a show on when I was a kid called Bananas in Pajamas.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And
that.
they were bananas. And this is going to blow your mind. This next part, they weren't pajamas.
Both.
You're kidding me.
Both of them.
Bananas.
Both
Yeah,
bananas.
pajamas.
And they would come down the stairs. It was all in the song. That was kind of their whole thing.
That was their whole
They
thing.
did a lot of walking up and down those stairs.
I
Relatively.
mean, what else are you gonna do? You're a banana. And that's kind of all you got.
Split.
Yeah, here's a.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah, I kind of remember
That's
that.
terrifying.
It is kind of weird now.
Yeah.
But like
We'll
the.
get a
Costumes during that era were scary.
do a screen capture of that, and we'll send it to the producer of the show, and he can put it up on the screen for
Do a screen capture of
our
that?
peeps to see.
I can just Google those images later.
We'll
and
do
send
that.
them to
Do
them.
that.
okay.
We'll do that.
Screen capture. This is the kind of production value we're getting today, folks.
This is why I'm not the producer.
Hey, Sai, maybe later I'll bring my phone over to you and you can take a picture of my screen. We'll just do artist renderings.
Artist rendering. Yeah.
That'd be good.
You know what? Let's not share it with a picture. I'll just describe it with words. I'll paint you a picture with my words.
With words.
It's scary costumes from a time that's past.
They were kind of scary. Kind
A
of
little
weird.
creepy.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's several other amusement parks in Ohio, or have been throughout the years.
There's more than this too?
Yeah,
What is all considered like a water park? Is that an amusement park?
I believe it's considered
An amusement
park. So there used to be the beach down by Kings Island. That's
Hawaiian Dot Lake.
Oh, was that one?
Yeah.
Where's
I think
that?
So
It was. I remember the song.
Yep.
If it didn't exist,
Is that the one that's by the Columbus Zoo?
Oh,
no, isn't that the zoo thing? The zoo splash.
I think it used to be.
Splash Zoo.
I think it might have
Help
been
me.
Hawaiian Dot.
Where am I going here?
before it
yeah,
was
it's
that.
something like that.
Columbus Water Zoo.
Easy Bay or something like that.
Zoombeezy Bay.
Zumbeezy.
That's what it
The
is.
ones, the Kalahari and
The Kalahari. Yeah. The Great Wolf.
the Great Wolf Lodge.
They're all
But
There used to be one that was down near Cincinnati, Middletown, called LaSwordsville Lake.
oh,
Swordsville Lake,
Swordsville Lake.
which
and then-
loosely translates to the Swordsville Lake.
the swords.
And after that, they changed to
Multilingual.
Americana Amusement Park.
Oh man.
But I went there when it was LaSwordsville Lake.
Well, that's when everybody went.
Well, probably.
That's when it was
But
happening.
I remember they had a roller coaster that would probably fit in this room.
Oh wow.
Well, this is
really
this
small.
room is over 1,000 square feet,
Oh,
so that makes sense.
It was a really small roller coaster there. It was like really quick up and down, pretty jerky, basically.
They gave you jerky?
I wish they did.
That'd be crazy.
Might have made it a better ride.
I don't think a roller coaster and beef jerky sounds like a good combination. I think
They
you gotta
had-
yak up the beef jerky.
yeah.
They had a haunted house ride that you went through.
Oh,
Was it scary?
It wasn't really all that scary, except,
The murders.
well, no.
the murders.
We were on the ride. It was my brother, my friend Scrap, and I. And, there's a teenager running it.
And they died.
No. He was talking to a teenage girl.
That's scary.
That is
The ride
scary.
broke down while we're in the middle of the haunted house.
And he's
We're in there screaming, "Hey, let us out, let us out." He's out there talking to the girl, and it seemed like a half an hour, might have been like 10 minutes that we're stuck in there.
stuck in there.
And finally we hear the girl say, "Hey, those kids have never come out." because we had ridden the thing like 4 or 5 times in a row because there wasn't that many people there. We just get back on, ride it again. And so the guy's like, oh, no, they haven't. And so he, goes and flips a switch or flips a breaker, and we finally are rescued.
We're rescued.
Weird thing is, Kim and I watched a documentary not too long ago, and there was a ride that was like exactly like this.
At another place?
Haunted house. Yeah, it was in Australia, I think.
Crikey.
Crikey.
The amusement park was like, kind of
Down
hot
under.
water. I think they were like,
That's not an amusement park. This is an amusement park.
they were like losing money or whatever, and
They start killing people.
no. Well, yes.
No.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Someone
Yes and
rigged
no.
it up so that this place would catch on fire, and I think it was supposed to like happen after the park closed.
Really?
The ride you were talking about.
Yeah, exact same ride,
boy.
and it catches on fire, and there's people in it, and like I'm gonna say like 15 people or so.
That's terrible.
But that
died.
ups the scare factor.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah,
So that
and it
that
was
ride might have
probably
been
like
more popular.
it was probably like around maybe the
It might have been, yeah.
same time period, basically when this happened.
Like, it was almost like a parallel universe sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've got a list
The
of...
Australian you might have passed away
defunct,
in the fire.
Probably did.
oh, yeah, that's could happen.
Yeah, the
It
Australian.
could have been.
Well, I mean, maybe
Wow.
not what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but yeah. I don't know that there's an Australian Kevin running around.
There's probably Kevin's in Australia.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially during that time, everybody was calling people Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah.
How do you get that with an Australian accent?
I don't know. I was trying that.
My Australian
bad.
accent always turns
yours
New
is
Zealand. It always turns New Zealand pretty quick, though.
Oh, New Zealand.
Which they're not super different, but they're different enough
different
that
enough.
people are
Oh, like-
you aren't even doing an Australian accent.
All I can
mind
do
your
is
business.
like an Irish,
Yeah.
some
No,
Scottish a
you
little
can't.
bit.
No, you can't.
No.
No, you can't. Else I was going to do as a Scottish.
Southern.
No, you
I can
can't.
do Southern.
Southern.
That's it.
I've got a list of interesting.
Wow,
defunct-
nobody's interested.
No,
Oh boy! Don't do that. That's so mean.
I'll just read one then.
Yeah, just read.
To yourself.
The beach adventure. There's 20 of them.
Cool. 20.
The beach at Adventure Landing,
Remember that?
Chippewa Lake Park,
Chippewa.
Coney Island in Cincinnati.
That closed not long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd never been there.
There was a Coney Island in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Euclid Beach,
Oh, who didn't love Euclid Beach?
Fort Rapids,
I've heard of that one.
Geauga Lake,
Geauga Lake. Yeah.
the IX Center, or maybe it's 1 through X if it's Roman
Oh,
numerals.
that could be Roman numeral.
Could've been
Maybe it's
9.
Do you think it's the 9 center? I like the I through X. I like the 1 through.
The one,
1 through 10.
1 through 10. It's a Roman themed. It's a Roman themed theme park.
All the people wore togas.
Yeah, and the rides were I don't know, like
Yeah.
a lot of people dying and stuff.
riding lions.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go through the plumbing.
Plumbing.
We did plumbing.
Yeah, the viaduct.
Yeah.
You'll
Oh
love
boy.
If
Is
you
that a
walk in,
bathhouse?
Oh boy, is that a bathhouse?
You walk in, you're wearing a
got shut
cross.
down
They throw you
fast.
to the lions.
Yeah, you throw you the lions. Idora Park in Youngstown, Indianola Park, LaSwordsville,
Well, Swordsville.
Long Island Beach, Luna Park, which was in Cleveland, Minerva Park,
Minerva.
Olentangy Park,
Olo and Tangy.
Paradise Lake, Puritas Springs Park.
It's probably.
Well,
Is that in Amish
SeaWorld.
country?
We had
We
SeaWorld.
did have
We did have a
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shady
That's wild.
Lake, Silver Lake, and Wildwater Kingdom.
Wild
That's what it
water.
lists here.
I think it may have been Silver Lake that was up at Indian Lake.
Oh, was it?
Maybe.
They had a theme park there?
Yeah, it was before my time, but there was one there.
Oh, well, then what was it, like a merry-go-round or something?
It's a merry-go-round
much.
and a teeter-totter.
Yeah. Oh, boy, we're going to the theme park. And it's just like
Some club selling like
that a freaking
funnel
seesaw?
cakes.
Yeah.
Is that a seesaw? Why are you
that a
buying?
seesaw?
Are you buying me a T-shirt for this place? This is worse than the park we go to at home.
I thought it might be interesting to just go through
that's
and recognize
pretty
any of the older ones.
I forgot we had a SeaWorld. SeaWorld's
I did
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, SeaWorld was.
I think the idea of SeaWorld blows my mind. The fact that you would go out, get an apex predator, and say, let's put this in with other people. Let's put this thing is literally called a killer whale. Let's throw humans in there with it. I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
No, it's not called a mildly upset whale.
Yeah,
It's a killer. Yeah.
It's not called an accidental homicide whale.
we went up there. I feel like we took
been
you
there.
guys when you were little. Yeah.
Yeah, you said, not.
We tried to tell them it was Florida.
They said, they said, listen, stupid, what's the difference between a mouse and a whale? Well, one could kill you.
One could kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
Yeah,
having that here in
was cool.
Ohio.
Yeah, I remember.
Aurora.
I forgot about that that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did you ever go?
Yep.
SeaWorld? Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I
think you
remember.
It's
Thought it was
crazy,
fun.
though.
I agree when you think about it. Yeah. The idea of it. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's nuts, man. It's so crazy. It's like going to the zoo and seeing someone hang out with the polar bear. I mean, you don't see anyone be like, oh, we're going to go, look at this guy. He's juggling with a polar bear. Oh, look at him pet his nose.
Cincinnati Zoo, you could have hung out with the gorillas for a while.
Until you couldn't.
Until you couldn't.
You couldn't pretty quick. Well, at least one. You got one less gorilla.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Harambe.
Harambe, yeah.
I was a big fan.
More on him later.
We'll get back to him.
Oh, yeah. Harambe lives forever in my heart.
We had a smaller scale amusement park here in Springfield.
What?
Golf and Cartland.
That was not an amusement park.
I'm pretty sure it
That
was
place
an
was a
amusement park.
dumpster fire.
You had go-karts. You had all the,
All the things that come with the go-kart. They had the
Wheels,
wheels, it had the
tables,
brakes, it had the accelerators.
video games,
Yeah.
miniature golf,
Yeah, it had a lot.
batting
going on.
cages.
This isn't an amusement park.
I'm pretty sure.
So then, like Scene 75. That's an
I would
amusement
say
park.
that's kind of an amusement park.
Chuck E. Cheese.
I wouldn't say Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese when it had the play place. Games and a place to
It
play.
doesn't have that anymore.
Well, no. COVID ruined everything. Thank you, COVID.
I didn't realize that. But we.
Paxlovid. Sorry, not a sponsor.
I probably spent the majority of my graduation money from high school at Golf and Cartland.
And the rest of it on a tetanus shot.
No. But we would go out there and get kicked out quite often
Yeah.
because they had
It's just good to know you're making reasonable purchases.
They had like a hairpin
dumpster fire of a place.
They had a hairpin turn on the
That's what all the kids were raving about.
Well, you could like skip the hairpin turn and just go across the grass all the way across the back.
Yeah.
And we would do that, and they would get mad and kick us out.
It's not where the pass is.
Yeah. And so I remember one time specifically, Scott and I had done it. We're getting kicked out. The guy's like got his back to the course. He's turning around yelling at us, for doing this, kicking us out. And while he's doing this, my brother
whips around.
He's just like not just cutting off the little part. He's just like he's going clear across the whole back of the thing.
That's crazy.
He's tearing up.
And Scott and I are standing there. We're just busting up laughing, and the guy's getting madder because he thinks we're laughing at him.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of are, but we're laughing because of what my brother was doing.
Doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Didn't they have batting cages there too?
Yeah.
I feel like you took me there one time, and it was the most scared I've ever been in a batting cage because it was erratic. It was like it would have been safer to have a live pitcher my age. It's like, Dad, that almost hit me. You're like, yeah, sure. I don't think it did. It's a batting cage. It can't be that inaccurate, but it was.
We were there one day, and they had like a Boy Scout troop was there, and they were out, racing the same time we were. And I had a fast cart that day, and so I was like out in the lead.
Tracy Chapman had a fast car.
That's true.
It
Yeah.
said cart.
Oh,
There
cart.
was a T on the end of it.
Oh,
What's the similar?
well, that's the B side.
You got a fast cart. We got a ticket to golf and cart
In
lane.
case the other one wasn't as relevant.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Well, you never know
Come by
what
with it.
demographic you go for.
That's right. That's what I meant. Yeah. Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah, maybe we would play with the younger crowd, like the younger crowd that couldn't drive cars.
Yeah, they weren't gonna know. They weren't gonna act.
Did it go off
be
the way I
relevant to
thought?
them.
No.
Probably not. But I think you got like, what, 5 laps, something
Yeah.
like that. And so I come around,
Wow.
and there's this little Boy Scout spun around in the middle of the track crying because someone spun him out. And apparently that person was Scott. Oh, Scott spun out this little Boy Scout.
Oh, jeez, I don't even remember.
No Scouts honor from Scott.
Well, I never did like the Scouts.
I didn't think so.
You gotta stick it to him.
We always told our kids that they weren't allowed to join the Scouts because my
They
dad.
did not tell us this.
We did tell you this. My dad had actually been kicked out of the Boy Scouts.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, because they like threw a blanket over their Scoutmaster's head and was just like beat the tar out of him, and so like all the kids in his troop got kicked out.
Wow, that'll
So
do
we
it.
said that for generations our family's banned from the Scouts.
What you really told us was it was either that or baseball.
What you really told us.
That wasn't true.
Yeah, it is. Then why do I remember it that way?
Because it was
Out of the two of us here, though, who do you think?
it was soccer.
Who do you think it's?
It was.
Soccer, baseball.
What?
Yeah, pretty sure that's what it
You
was.
made us choose between soccer and baseball?
Yeah.
Soccer would have never been an option, and now I know you're lying.
Now I know.
Now there's
That
holes.
just
There's
happened.
holes in this whole story. You told us that if you wanted to do Boy Scouts, then if that interfered with baseball.
I don't recall that.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
We'll have to talk to your mom about that.
If it's going to lower our viewership, I'll retract my Boy Scout comment.
Yeah, I don't think it can hurt.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Boy Scout, not Boy Scout, nobody's watching this.
That's I think that's more to the point.
Yeah. We can offend Girl Scouts, and nobody. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who we offend at this point.
But the cookie thing is a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking then.
Yeah. It's,
Hellion on wheels.
Yeah.
you're thinking this kid
Pretty rough.
needs he needs a taste of reality.
It's a taste of reality.
Here he is just
I
living
just
it up.
remember the kid all he spun around facing the wrong ways. His cart's, I don't know if it shut off or what, but he's just sitting there crying.
Scott's just laughing, cackling,
Yeah.
and screaming, "Sucker!
Sucker.
You suck, kid!" That kid's just weeping.
This is
softly.
another reason why I love Kevin, because I honestly I can't remember some of this stuff.
Yeah, and
Genuinely, I
and
can't.
who doesn't
It's-
want to remember
Sure.
when you publicly
when you
humiliated a small
humiliated a
child?
child. It keeps you humble,
It does. It does. It does.
you know. But it is. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But you'll actually, once you say it, then it starts to click a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
just
why.
remember it was
You just remember
hilarious.
the
though.
joy that rushed through you.
Yes.
As you spun that kid around. Ah, the flows of excitement. Just waves of just so much.
She had tears of terror and Scott had tears of joy.
Yeah.
Why, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Creed
I
song was
remember
about.
it.
Scott wrote it.
It's a creep song.
That's right. He did a lot of ghostwriting for Scott Stapp.
Sorrow tastes so sweet.
That's right.
Now, I don't even remember, but I'm sure I was funning around.
Oh, yeah. It was good times.
You remember how old the fellow was? He was like
3. He was.
I'm guessing probably like maybe
couldn't have
11, 10, 11.
I mean,
yeah.
meaning we weren't that.
No, we were
older.
20.
We had just recently graduated from high school.
You were 18
Yeah, so-
and he was 8. if 8.
Yeah.
You were getting ready to go in the army, drive tanks.
Oof, this isn't getting better. I would maybe Scott, maybe tell me it wasn't.
This isn't getting better.
Yeah. You were a grown man enlisting in the military. This kid, his mom wiped his butt that morning.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, yeah, if he was around 11, we would have been, 18?
Yeah.
Or 17, 18.
Yeah.
I guess not terrible, but still.
It was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Do you have any stories from amusement parks that you can think of?
I've been to some.
Good stuff.
I can tell you, I've been to some.
I don't like a roller coaster.
No, you're not a big...
No, I'll ride them. I'm not a fan. I don't enjoy them. I just think I get on there and I'm like, what is this? I don't see what people see in them.
I've always loved
I've
it.
ridden pretty much everyone that's currently at Kings Island.
Okay, man.
Well,
It's not doing
the first time I
not really
rode,
your thing.
the first time I rode the Beast, I was scared to death.
Yes, I was.
Because I just figured out how to make wooden roller coasters.
We were. Our church would always go there every summer, and
That
so I was
blows
with
my mind.
I was with some kids from church,
Oh.
and
Closer to Jesus that way.
Jesus.
I was riding with this one girl who I was good friends with, and we started to go
The
down.
reason he was riding with a girl.
We started to go down that first the first hill, and I see the tunnel they're going to go into, and my first thought is it's going to cut my head off.
Yep.
And so I ducked as fast as I could,
Hit your head on the bar.
hit my mouth on her knuckle, and like cut her knuckle.
Oh.
That makes my teeth hurt. In my hand. That makes me hurt all over.
So yeah, that was kind of
See, that's what I'm saying.
bit
Roller coasters are
embarrassing.
the worst.
That's...
after that I was okay.
Oh, my. That is a...
But yeah, I was a little frightened.
I will. There is one roller coaster that I'd have a lot of fun riding with Abe and my youngest son, or with Abe, my youngest son, and Silas. Adventure Express. It's not a thrill. It's basically like introducing kids to roller coasters. Is basically what it is. It's not like the Snoopy ride. It's like it looks and feels like it's going to be a real roller coaster, but there's nothing going on.
Oh.
So
You just sit in the car and then
you go in here.
they tell you to get out.
There's this huge
Where you got the
climb.
really big hill.
Yeah, giant climb
Really?
back to the station. There is no drop.
Oh, that's
But
wild.
what we would do is, as we're climbing it, because we got all this, we and it was towards the end of the night, and nobody else was going through it except for like kids and families and stuff. But we keep running back, and we rode that thing like probably close to 50 times. And what we would do is we'd sit in the back. And the whole time we'd be like screaming like things were gonna go. Like this thing was the biggest roller coaster, the best thing. And we get to the hill. We get up to the hill and we'd be like, oh, we go, big drop. And then at the top of it, we'd scream something like, I have children, or something, like. And then we just coast back in. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And I think the most fun part was just knowing you were never you could not die. There's no way you could die on that roller coaster.
Oh, if the cable was snapped when you're going up the hill.
No,
Not even that.
I don't think so. Then you just ride like the 10 yards it is back to the thing. It wasn't like it was long. There wasn't a lot. There was like maybe 2 twists. I think the way it would have been, we would have just rocked back and forth very gently, like a mother, like a mother with her small child, and we would have probably fallen asleep until we would have got it figured out. But that was a blast. I loved that.
That's hilarious.
I loved that so much.
That's funny.
And I rode all the big ones that day. By far, Adventure Express is my favorite.
Adventure Express.
I rode Orion, which is supposed to be like a space thing
cool.
because we went to space or something. But it drops real hard, like real hard. It's not 90 degrees. I don't know. but it's a big drop.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was gonna come out of my seat. I'm like, this isn't a good time.
This isn't a good time. Yeah, you're getting a whole lot of enjoyment out of that.
No, this isn't fun. I'm not trying to fly. I'm a human person. I'm not a bird. It's not a good time.
We went to Cedar Point, and this has been a long time ago. No, Cedar Point's been around a long time.
And it is at the point of a cedar. That's why they call it that.
But I think Magnum XL, one of the roller
Magnum,
coasters there.
Yeah.
Magnum PI.
It was the year that it opened up, so it's been quite
That
a
roller
while
coaster.
ago.
Do you think it probably still exists?
I'm not even sure. I
would bet
haven't
it
been there
doesn't.
forever. But
Days
while
of
we're waiting
Thunder.
in line, it was like a day where it's, a little bit of misty rain every once in a while.
Misty Rain.
And so every time that would happen, they would...
Was she there?
They would shut the... Probably.
Was she there? Was Misty Rain there?
I didn't talk to her, but
She could have
I was
been.
with your mom, so...
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. Good
Safe
call.
bet.
But
said, "Is that
every
misty
time that it would start to rain, they would, stop the ride, and you have to wait till, dry it off, and then...
Yeah, because death.
Apparently on those
Because
steel coasters, like, it'll increase the speed, like,
Oh,
10, 15 miles per hour, something like that.
oh, really?
That's
And it was a
smart
pretty
science.
fast ride anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we got on it.
Tracy
and
Chapman had a fast ride.
Did she know? Back to that again. Right as we're getting ready, as we're getting snapped in, it starts raining again.
And you said, let it fly.
Well, they did. They let it fly.
really?
And we went down. It was super fast.
Was it fun?
It was fun. I loved roller coasters.
You loved them, but they don't love you. Is that what this? I feel
don't
like
know.
a weird sentence was getting ready to happen.
Well, the last few times I've ridden like the wooden roller coasters.
Yeah.
I'm old, and so
Well, wooden
bad
roller coasters aren't an old man's game.
now they'll
They like to shake you around.
bang you around quite a bit.
Yeah, they throw you.
I think chiropractors are behind wooden roller coasters.
That's
Probably.
I think they
I'm
see
sure
a-
they get a lot of money.
Yeah, I bet the chiropractors in Mason, Ohio, keep funding the wooden roller coasters.
yeah. Be interesting to know how many are
I'm
there.
surprised they don't have like a
Licensed
booth
chiro-
right outside.
Right.
Yeah, trying to get adjusted. I know that thing
Yeah.
just
Get
gave
their
me.
business card before you get on
Yeah.
here.
I know
You're
that thing
gonna
just through
need
your
this.
spine 6 different ways.
They got a table outside.
Yeah, he wrote it twice.
I remember going to Busch Gardens
Yeah.
and to Florida.
Yeah.
We were young again. I think it might have been 10. Sean might have been 8 or 9 and 7, whatever. And I remember for whatever reason that day, there was hardly anybody there. I don't know if it just rained, I think. But, I mean, we were going back and forth to these 2 roller coasters a lot. One was called the Python. Of course, like you said, everything's got the Python and the Scorpion. And I remember, this isn't really the ride itself that I've got a story, but it was, they had people on the microphone. You probably maybe know this in Kings Island, or maybe they don't do it anymore, where they have a spokesman that's trying to entice the crowd to rides. So, they had, come on in. And so I don't know. We got in the Scorpion, and there was this lady who, you got seated, and then it started to take you out, and then she would start and she had a lisp. She was like, feel this thing of the Scorpion. And then you go out, and then pretty soon, a little later, it would be slower. Feel the thing of the Scorpion. And then you go a little later than that, and then it would just feel this thing. Feel the thing.
Feel the thing. And you're like, oh boy.
Oh, jeez.
I went off the ride. What is going to happen? I thought this was a roller.
Yeah, that was it. She got more low key as we kept coming back. I know if it was because we were the only ones riding, so it kind of felt bad that
She's like, feel the thing.
directed towards us.
She's over it.
She's over it.
Feel the thing. Last time you get up there, she's just like, Scorpion. I quit.
I quit. I think the list
never getting off
thing
this ride.
killed me too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sean knows that.
I can't imagine being with Sean and
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
But the ride was fun. But I mean, it was just hearing that. That was
the last time I went to Kings Island. They on the speakers they were playing bluegrass covers of like pop songs. And stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, there's nothing to get you in the mood.
It was actually not bad.
Oh, okay.
It was like the fast songs they did slow, and the slow songs they did fast, and it was a good time. Yeah. I was like, I could get into it.
Cool.
It was fun.
Oh, cool.
It wasn't all over the place because they have the different like areas that are supposed to be different. I'm like, I don't understand what you're doing. I get you're trying to break up the park into different sections or whatever, but I don't. Like to a normal person who's just going there. Being dragged there for an event.
Dragged there.
Unwillingly.
Unwillingly. I don't really care. I never noticed that.
Yeah, but then I heard the music and I was like, well, maybe this isn't half bad. I'm not a big bluegrass guy, but I appreciated what they were trying to do.
Cool. Did Kings Island have that? Like, kind of the different, like, theme?
Yeah, because they had, like, Hanna-Barbera Land.
Okay.
It used to be.
Now it's the Peanuts.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Well, Hanna-Barbera hasn't existed in most of my lifetime.
Most of my lifetime.
That's how Cartoon Network started.
Well, they had like the Scooby-Doo.
For you.
One of the rides was the Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo used to be
the
big.
Beastie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
IDC.
They don't run a lot of the name stuff by me anymore.
Yeah.
They don't run a lot of the stuff.
I remember.
They used to.
I think you might have been there. We were like young teenagers.
Yeah.
And with our two other buddies that we always ran around with. And the very first ride we get on is like the witch's cauldron thing, which is like the teacups.
Well, that's evil. That's evil.
Well, yeah. Well, it was really evil this day. Because
it's evil. That's evil.
Like, when the ride before us stopped, we were like the first ones in line, and so we get on it right away, start spinning this thing like crazy. Yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, the actual ride starts.
Oh, what the heck!
So we're sitting there this whole time,
about to vomit?
just spinning. And then it gets done. It doesn't get done. It actually starts, and we're still going for another 3 minutes or whatever. I remember getting off that thing, being so sick,
walking, sideways. That's crazy.
We'd gone with one of our friends and mom and dad, and she had some Dramamine or something, and so we took that.
Because you spun yourself, really?
Yes.
That's so stupid.
And it was the very first ride of the day. So it was like,
and we hated the rest of the day.
Yeah, it was not good.
I've been to a couple of the indoor water parks.
Oh,
and they're kind of. I went to Kalahari.
Does this count as an amusement park?
You said that they did.
Oh, I don't know.
This is what you said. You listed them in the thing.
I think we took them out.
Just because you said, "Oh, this place had go-karts and games inside,"
I think we have to let them have this.
They're literally more of an amusement park than the thing you started the whole thing with.
We started it with Los Horseville Lake.
You mentioned it. You started it with the golf cart land or whatever. They had golf carts, they had games, and they threw...
Not golf carts, go-karts.
I mean,
how fun would it be to race golf carts around?
About as fun as it is to do whatever you were doing. Anyways, yeah. Kalahari, went there when I was a teenager. That was kind of cool, I guess. I'm not big into water slides.
Park?
But
was it a water park kind of?
Yeah, indoor water park, which is kind of gross. Even grosser than a water park, like outdoor, because then it's all getting inside and it's all just kind of It's like a giant bath and everybody's in it.
So it's kind of like the Roman bath.
No, I think this had a different kind of vibe, but
thank God.
Yeah, I think it was a different vibe than what was happening. At least at the park I was at. Yeah. But it had like the slides and like a wave pool and like a little kiddie splash pad area.
Wave pools are cool.
Yeah, and they had like a
lazy river.
Like a good lazy river. Who doesn't love a good lazy river?
I wish I could have one in my backyard.
You know who ruins the lazy river? The people who run around it.
Yeah. That's lazy.
Yeah, that's called stupid laps.
Stupid laps.
Yeah. Dude, we're doing lazy river stuff. If you want to act a fool, find another body of water.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah. Why ruin other people's lazy river time?
And there was some water slide stuff.
That's cool.
No, not my bag. Because
of the...
But, but I one time I went with friends and to Great Wolf Lodge, friends and their kids and my kids, and
did you guys ride the big wolves there?
There's big wolves. Like, what?
Yeah,
we rode the one. They take you there.
Oh, okay.
They bring in the great. He walks in.
That's how
There's
you
only
get
one
there,
wolf.
right?
That's no, that's not. That's a common misconception.
It's the only one.
It's the Great Wolf Lodge, not the Great Wolves.
So they're lying to us on the commercial.
It's just the one wolf. They bring him in.
They bring him in.
They parade him around. They're like, "Hey, make way for the Great Wolf." But that part was not real. But it was a lot of similar stuff to Kalahari. One of them had like an indoor water roller coaster. This never worked.
Water roller coaster.
It never worked.
Well,
it never
sounds like it wouldn't work.
It never worked. Probably because of the water, I'm guessing. If I had to pinpoint one thing wrong with it, it's probably the water part.
Just go with like a log ride kind of thing or something.
Was it? They have a log ride type thing?
No,
never
they don't.
been there.
This guy's just talking out of his butt.
I'm asking why not?
Why not?
Well, when they were running the stuff by me, and I said, "What about a roller coaster?"
I think we can get this roller coaster off the ground. Really.
I said, "I'm glad you came to me." Clearly, love water parks. You know what else I love? Roller coasters. Those are two things.
Mesh them together.
I want those things to be together. But thank God that was broken down, because that sounded like an absolute nightmare.
It does sound kind of rough.
Probably like how people die. But and that's probably why it was closed. Maybe somebody did die.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which one that was at.
Yeah, I can see how it comes down to the water and then doesn't come up again.
Yeah, it's like 10 feet of water.
People are all stuck in there.
Why are those people splashing?
I don't know.
Don't worry, they'll stop.
This is part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there was a giant water slide that you went down in like a big, like one of those big tubes that multiple people sit in.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think how many kids I had at the time. I want to go with just the boys. No, maybe Ellie was there.
Oh.
So, but I could feel okay with saying just the boys. We'll go with just the boys for the point of the story. And Abe is probably, we're talking toddler. I'm going to say 3. I'll go with 3.
A young fella, huh?
Yeah. But we asked the other family, we're like, is this going to be like a family thing? And they said, yeah. We get on that thing. I'm gripping this poor child for dear life because we're getting tossed like crazy. We almost got spun around on flipped upside down on that tube and stuff. It was yeah. But it was insane. I thought he was gonna die.
Well, I'd have been.
Yeah, and after we were done, I was like, well, maybe you have a different idea of what a family water slide means.
Right, what family water slide.
Seems like the people running the ride would have been like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Do you think these kids?
Maybe they would say something.
It's just kids. Kids running these things.
True.
They're like, they don't.
Probably the same teenagers that left me on the.
That guy's probably passed. It wasn't
passed.
that kid. It wasn't that. There's no way it was that kid because that kid's probably,
has passed.
It's probably in a retirement home.
Probably should be.
Yeah, he's probably eating more pudding than you would be comfortable with. But a lot of pudding.
A lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be scary. Now, so that water slide story, I don't know if you heard. It was a bit different because, now Scott, did you hear the part where I let my son go? Did you hear that part?
I knew that was coming.
No.
That's because, now this is going to sound crazy, I did not let him go.
Oh.
I held on to him the whole time. And did he break anything, you asked? I heard you say?
Yeah.
He didn't break anything. Probably because I kept him safe.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's just an interesting way to end a water slide story.
Sounds like an interesting way to end this segment.
We all have habits. Some are good and some not so good. Some folks go for a morning jog every day and others an evening stroll. One person may be in the habit of having 1 cup of black coffee with an over-easy egg on rye toast, and another have a pot with heavy cream to go with their biscuits, sausage gravy, and bacon. We're all in the habit of having 100,000 heartbeats per day and 22,000 breaths. Regardless of whether or we have good eating habits or bad ones, or whether or not our exercise habits are good or bad, one day we're all going to break the habit of having heartbeats and taking breaths. That's why we need Oops, You Died life insurance. So get in the habit of paying our monthly premiums. Oops, You Died life insurance.
He would have never been. Princess Di was a lot younger than Elton John.
Well, the original song was about
But he didn't. Okay.
Marilyn Monroe, not
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I know, but he didn't write the Marilyn Monroe song.
Well, I
Did
think
he?
he did.
He wrote that song for Marilyn Monroe? That feels
Either
weird.
him, the guy that always wrote all the songs.
Bernie Taupin.
Yeah, probably Bernie Taupin.
And Bernie Taupin was just a kid. When Princess
So
Di
that's it. Bernie
That
Taupin.
would make a lot more sense.
So, hold on.
He was the kid.
I'm trying to understand this.
He was the kid.
So this song, which was originally about Marilyn Monroe, who was a celebrity,
Yeah.
but had some checkered
Sure.
Stuff to
she
her.
did.
was taken and then used for a beloved princess. Yes, who had an impeccable, history. Pretty good person.
Well, she
She
had
was a little checkered there at the end.
She had some checkeredness.
Well,
yeah.
they would all got checkered there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's true. I
but
mean, they were
but she
both,
was much
she's no Marilyn Monroe.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't sleeping with presidents.
Nothing like that.
But I mean,
She just had her faults. That's all I'm saying too, but not
not to the.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like she was kind of pushed into.
Yeah, she was kind of.
yeah. So just so the song that was originally from Marilyn Monroe, kind of I don't know. So it was taken for a beloved. I don't get it. Like,
Maybe we can chop this off, put it in a special.
is it some sort of weird thing where
No,
we're saying
you've got a great point.
like here is America's princess,
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe, and then here's England's princess, Princess Di.
yeah, that's an interesting.
You know that Marilyn
take there.
Monroe and like the Queen Elizabeth were like the same age.
Oh, really?
So was like Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. They were all four of those were like
Really?
the same age basically.
Wait, Anne Frank was the same age as the Queen,
Yeah.
she was the same age as Martin Luther King Jr.
No, I think all four of those were about the same age.
So
somewhere in
Marilyn Monroe,
pretty close.
Anne Frank and Marilyn Monroe are the same age.
Yeah, I think so.
What?
I think so.
She seemed younger and did to me. But I'm not
because
saying I'm
she
right.
died young.
She died. She didn't die young. Yeah.
Only the good die.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, so Anne, what?
Let's roll into something even more controversial.
I'm still trying to. I gotta process this for a hot second. Okay, I'm never gonna.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that before though.
That's my brother does a great rendition of Cher doing "Candle in the Wind."
I would pay to hear
He's
that.
awesome.
Why did that would have been?
You know how Cher does her?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think Celine Dion should have done it.
I think so too. She had to have done it at some point.
Probably.
And Canada love the monarchy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely.
Don't
I don't understand a monarchy. I don't get the whole thing behind it.
I'm not
They're
fake.
fake.
I quite understand
They're
it
pretending
myself.
they're not even doing anything anymore. They're just wearing.
That's
things.
true. They're not
A
even
lot of
doing
crowns,
anything.
a lot of crowns and stuff, jewelry. But what are they doing at the end of the day? They're just fake. They're just there. They just put their faces on money.
True.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. It doesn't.
Sorry.
That's what's going on.
I'm kidding. Get it together, bro. Get a real government. Anyways.
You and your fake mom.
Yeah. Hey, I know you got a king
All
now.
of this from Candle in the Wind, which he is a British.
He is Sir. He's a knight.
Sir. Oh, that's right.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Reginald.
Queen.
Not by the princess.
No.
Who the queen may have had murdered? Question mark. Weird.
Wow. We're really getting...
Was Elton on the payroll? Oh, was this a big cover-up? Was Elton getting money to sing Candle? They're like, hey, we got to make this go away.
The views expressed by Caleb are not necessarily those of this podcast.
No, guys, I think we just opened up maybe a big can of worms. Did he get knighted after Candle in the Wind? Ooh, this feels good.
Yeah.
I think he might have.
He might have.
This makes so much sense.
I think
they're like, thank God you sung that song. Because now we got a lot of heat off us. I think I'll knight you.
Yeah, because I don't think he was knighted from the original.
I don't think
he reappropriated it for the queen.
You're not getting
princess.
Yeah,
then
you're not gonna get knighted for Crocodile Rock.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Rocket Man's not getting united.
No.
Maybe your song. Maybe you get knighted for your song.
Maybe your song.
I can see your song.
Your song's good.
Saturday.
But Benny and the Jets.
Fighting.
You gonna get
not for Benny and the Jets.
Maybe Benny, but the Jets.
But the Jets definitely not.
I don't think there's just a lot of holes.
There's a lot of holes in this.
I'm telling you what, I'm gonna do a deep dive on this, and if I find out he was knighted after Candle in the Wind, I'm gonna lose my crap. Or maybe he got knighted for the Lion King song.
I don't think so.
Did you? Can you feel the love tonight? You telling me they? I think you knighted a guy.
I think it was before that.
Was it before Cam?
But you think it was after?
I don't know.
He's saying it's Crocodile Rock. I think he thinks it's a Crocodile Rock thing. I don't think it's Crocodile Rock.
That's controversial there.
Yeah.
It's hot. So hot take. Elton John was in on it.
It wasn't for the musical.
Hot take.
Elton John in on the whole Princess Di stuff.
You heard it first here.
Do you think he was the driver? You thinking it was him?
I don't know.
Do you think maybe his platform shoe got stuck? Maybe it was a mistake.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe he was in a thing called the Crocodile Rock.
I feel like they'd see him if he was the driver because he'd have these huge
I think
glasses.
he would kind of
and
stand out.
some kind of
It would have been ridiculous.
feather boa thing going.
Yeah.
And
That's probably what happened. The
and
window
he's
was
not-
down. The boa got in his eyes.
And he's not driving a normal car.
No.
It's like
No,
some sort of like
It's
weird,
bedazzled.
it's like a weird little Fiat.
Yeah.
You're like, it's the kind of car that you're asking yourself, is that a scooter? And you have to get close before you know it's a car.
It's like what Liberace's car would be, but more
Yeah. But,
yeah.
Tasteful. More
Tasteful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or tasteful.
And more trendy.
Trendy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely more trendy. Was Crocodile Rock playing? Could have been. Gotta look into this Candle in the Wind stuff. I'm gonna tell you. I'll let you guys know. I'll get into this Candle in the Wind stuff.
Okay.
We gotta get.
We never saw it coming. I mean, it just came out of nowhere.
like the wind.
The wind. That's
you never
true.
see it coming.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
It's full circle.
Well, speaking of things you never saw coming,
We cannot transition from what I just did to this. You cannot. What's next, Kevin?
well, last week we were in the Book of John, and we're going to stay in the Book of John this week.
That's convenient.
And it's apropos, I believe, because
I don't know what that means.
did you see the comments that the Pope made this week?
You're gonna say on our video, and I was gonna
Pope.
say,
You're bringing that.
"Oh,
Yeah.
Scott, I like what you did."
Yeah.
I thought you were doing that like a.
What the? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Scott's
Yeah.
heard it.
What?
You know, heard the controversy with the Pope
So
this week.
this is just me talking, but I'm a Protestant, so I don't hear a lot about what the Pope's doing.
This is just me talking.
No,
Well,
you guys are
I
pretty
mean,
tight. You guys are
really
really
Not
into Catholic
necessarily tight with what the Pope, but I did see this because it kind
Not
of
that I don't like Catholics.
made news.
Right, yeah. We got it, Caleb. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of really good Catholics that disagree with what he said.
Absolutely. Actually,
Okay,
there
so
are.
I guess I have seen. I didn't watch any of the videos, but I saw some. I watched some Catholic YouTubers that are Catholic. I don't think there's a separate one.
those
There
are-
is. They have their own.
Stop. But I saw some outrage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're familiar with what we're talking about.
I know there was outrage.
He was in India, maybe somewhere in the East. I'll say that a place where they have multiple gods.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the statement, I wish I had it brought up. I didn't even think about that. But he made the statement that basically it doesn't matter what
your
God,
name is.
who you worship. All religions.
Hasn't he said something like that before, though?
I feel like he has.
I feel like he did pretty soon after he became the Pope. I think
And I mean, it's
or at least something along the lines of that towards maybe like the Muslims or something.
perhaps
Serving the same God or something to that effect.
perhaps it was something like that. But this one was like even more broad,
So he's trying to encompass all the deities.
saying that basically,
That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, because some of those have like
Kind of the
thousands
opposite
of
what
gods.
The Bible says.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, see what I did?
Yeah.
Attention.
We're going to be in John chapter 14. And do you want to read this week, Scott? Verse 6
Yeah.
of John 14.
John 14, verse 6.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him.
And this is completely 180 opposite of what the Pope was saying.
Yeah.
And it's something that's always frustrated me because I've seen like people who claim to be Christians that have posted, in the past similar things saying, it doesn't matter what who you worship or whatever, as long as we're all going to the same place.
Yeah.
And what I find so frustrating is that, okay, if you claim to be a Christian and you're a follower of Christ, either Christ was lying, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's the only answer you can go by, is that when he said that, he was lying. In which case, if Christ is a liar, why would you even follow him?
Right.
Because he clearly is saying that the only way to God is through him, through Christ. So you can't just follow any religion you want, follow any God you want. There's only one way to get to heaven, and that is through believing in Jesus Christ, having faith in him.
Yeah.
Singapore.
That's where it was.
It says here, quote unquote, okay, all religions are a path to God.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the entire Bible, it's from beginning to end, it says that that's not the case.
Right.
And I mean, this man's devoted his entire life, supposedly,
Yeah, supposedly.
to the Bible.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. And like you said, I mean, Jesus said it.
Yeah. It's plain as day. I mean, he wasn't beating around the bush. He came out and said it plainly.
Yeah.
It's not like he was trying to, be coy about it and, let you believe that there's other options.
Yeah. And like you said, there's a famous C.S. Lewis quote where he says he's either Lord, a liar, or a lunatic on par with someone claiming to be a boiled egg.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
That's 100% the truth.
Yeah, that's from a book I read, Scott.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
I read most of it.
But yeah, I mean, and that goes right along with how people will say, Christ was just a good man, or he was just a prophet. He can't be. He made statements. He made claims that he was the Messiah in more than one place.
Well, that's what a lot of people like to say, that he didn't say he was God. But you read that in the context of the entire Scripture, and you tell me that that's not what he was saying.
Yeah, and even here, and that's important when you're reading the Bible, to have the context that it's in, because it's easy just to cherry pick verses out, and then people will make them.
There's a pretty popular Bible app that does that,
and they'll make them out to say whatever they want. But in this, if you go back to the beginning of it, he's telling them, that he's going to prepare a place for them, and where he's going, they know the way.
The title of this right here is an I am statement.
Yes.
Which I am is one of who God told Moses he was when he was in the burning bush.
Yeah.
And he was telling this to Jews, so they would have known what he was getting at.
Exactly.
Why'd they want to kill him? Because he said he was God.
Well, and there was another place where the Pharisees were questioning him, and he had mentioned about Abraham.
Before Abraham was, I am.
Yeah, before Abraham was, I am. And they wanted to stone him for that.
Yeah.
Because it was obvious to them what he was saying.
Yeah, he wasn't just using a weird phrase.
No.
Grammatically, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Unless you were trying to make a point.
All right.
Then maybe you were something else. Something more.
In fact, that his presence and his part of the Trinity is godhood, and being fully human as well. I mean, and what he did to save those who believe in him from their sins. I mean, that is what makes Christianity different. That is the difference.
That is the big difference.
Yeah. And the Pope, I mean, you're saying that then all the other religions are equal in the path to God. It's like, not all these other religions have God's son.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's like, that's...
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's really troubling, because it's like, it's hard to know where did that, how would you think that would sound? You know what I mean? I mean, clearly... Any Catholic, pretty much would know.
All the Catholics I know are not going to be on. They would not be on board with that. And it's just blows my mind, because Christianity, kind of to piggyback on what you were saying, is like it's the only religion that says it's just this, it's nothing else.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's going, well, everything else.
Yeah,
everything else is it's the same. Well, no, Christianity says it's this or it's not.
Right.
It's nothing. There's no other way. I am the way. Not. Well, here's a couple other ways over here.
There's these other ways.
There's other ways.
I'm
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I am. It's another. What? But it's just people.
Well, I don't know if it's this. I mean, I'm not gonna get too much into the Pope and this Pope, but I mean, he's been under some other controversies about his stance on, homosexuality at times, and I know in the Olympics, I think when that happened, a lot of the Catholics truly, were calling for him to make a statement much sooner than he ended up doing.
Yeah.
And felt he should have leaned harder into that than he did. So there's this, it's a weird, I'm not going to go into it like I know, but it almost seems like in some of these instances, there's this, seems to me almost like a softening towards bringing more of the culture in. Maybe.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and the same thing is happening in a lot of
churches.
A lot of churches is what you said.
Yeah.
It's very sad. The American church in particular, so much of it. Just embracing what's going on in the culture.
Yeah.
Instead of being the light and the salt that we're supposed to be.
I think this is just another good reason that you should be reading your Bible on your own.
Exactly.
Because if you are only getting your teaching from one person or a few different people, like, we're humans and we're flawed and we're going to make mistakes. Sometimes we're going to say things, and I don't feel like this is a mistake on his part. I feel like it's an intentional thing that he's saying, that it is a falsity.
Yeah.
And he's going away from Scripture. But
it seems that
regardless, you can make mistakes. He is making a mistake. He's just making it intentionally. But this is why you got to be in reading the Word on your own, so you know what God's actually saying through it, so you don't get lost in some
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody who's false. Teaching false.
100%. And if you're sitting in church, your pastor's reading scripture, you should have your Bible there following along. I mean, I always do. They'll tell you what chapter verse they're in, and I always look along, follow along and see what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it's
I think
important.
that's part of it too. Is being in church and you have a good pastor, then he's teaching you the Word, and there's some things that you might have. We sometimes will gloss over a verse and maybe not quite fully that he can point those things out. Exactly. You can double check that on your own, but he can point it out to you so you understand the correct context.
Right.
I think a prayer life, and I'm so happy that God came into my life. He changed me, and through prayer and through other people like you, Kev, and even my brother, and just different things where it's a complete turnaround than what I used to think. Yeah. Even having somewhat of some religion and believed in Jesus, but there was the whole culture thing was in my life.
Yeah.
And it's a complete turnaround. I just thank God for helping too, to help encourage me to see the truth. And not fall for this stuff that's so much in the culture.
True.
But the culture's gotten so bad to me anymore that it's almost transparent. It's like they don't even hide it as well.
Yeah. No, it's all out in the open now.
Pretty much out there.
Very much so. Very much so. But that's why it's so important to be in the Word, like Caleb was saying, Scott was saying, so that you know what the Bible says, and you're not going to fall for, this leader said this, or this leader said that. Yeah. You'll know what God said.
Yeah.
So it's right here.
Yeah, any pastor, preacher, teacher who's worthwhile is going to tell you to check the Bible against what they're saying.
Exactly. Because they're not afraid. They're not afraid for you to see what it says.
Yeah. You're no stranger to breaded desserts. You know the rules, and so do I. Whether it's cinnamon rolls, banana bread, honey buns, or monkey bread, eventually it's going to leave you. Isn't it time you tried the dessert that won't desert you? Oh boy, this is tough. Rick rolls. You're never gonna give them up because they're never gonna give you up. They're never gonna let you down. They're never gonna run around and desert you. They're never gonna make you cry. They're never gonna say goodbye. They're never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. These are just the lyrics to the song.
Delicious.
Rick Rolls by Astley Bakery. You know what? There's no day that goes by that I think that Shirley Temple was a pretty good actor.
She was.
She was.
I think she was.
And I think we forget about it all
Pretty
too
decent
much.
legislator as well.
Sure,
Wasn't she like a congresswoman or something?
Well,
Yeah, I think she wasn't she
Later in life.
on.
she revolutionized the way kids ate soup. He was putting animal crackers in soup. That's insane to me.
Crazy stuff.
Revolutionized.
I mean, and it's not. There's not a
Not
good.
to overstate, but
Yeah, is there a soup that's a good idea for you eating a chicken noodle? You think you're gonna toss a couple animal crackers in there? You got a shrimp, lobster bisque. You're gonna
got your lobster
You
bits.
got a lobster bisque. You're gonna toss no clam chowder. You're not gonna throw it in the chowder.
No, you're
That's
not.
insane.
Certainly not going to do that with clam chowder. You're right.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good. Just a couple here today. A couple.
This is for September
26.
26th.
Hey, all right.
Some history
This
stuff.
day in history.
History.
T.S.
times.
Eliot, the poet,
Yeah.
Born?
today, well, September 26th. Serena Williams, 1981.
The tennis player? Tennis lady? The woman.
George Gershwin, the composer.
Puppeteer.
Yep.
Oh,
The puppeteer.
tell me that last name doesn't sound like a puppeteer.
That's true.
That guy sounds like he's had his hand up a cloth butt.
Wasn't it George and Ira? Wasn't that his brother?
yeah.
Ira, George and Ira. Yeah, Ira.
I listen to a lot of their stuff.
You probably have.
And that's what
Honestly.
I wasn't being facetious. I was.
Some of the people we lost on this day was Paul Newman.
Oh,
Paul
old blue eyes.
He was in Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke.
I saw that movie. It's a
That was
pretty good movie.
That was an awesome
Yeah,
movie.
that's good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The American sitcom The Brady Bunch premiered on ABC.
You talked about the Brady Bunch
How do
earlier.
you like that?
Kings Island.
Kings
Full
Island.
circle.
All the way around. Marsha.
Yeah, which the Beatles released their Abbey Road album.
Ooh. I like that.
Okay.
Crazy.
And the Beverly Hillbillies debuted on CBS.
Hey.
Boy, those are some of the
That's
highs and
quality.
highs and lows.
In the Beverly Hillbillies, you considering that a low, right?
No,
Be
that's-
careful. Your grandfather might listen to this. And that man loves the Beverly Hills.
Did he?
Yeah, but what are the chances he has his hearing aids in?
What are the chances? Dad?
You gotta mouth it real big.
So, are you guys ready for some odd news?
Oh, the odd news. Yeah, I love
The
the
odd news is always it's
this-
worse than the things I bring up.
Probably.
I'm not gonna get weird about it, am I?
Maybe.
I get weird about a lot of things.
Teen reports possible alligator sighting at Greene County Park in Ohio.
You think that's crazy?
Green
While out
County.
fishing in Greene County, a teenager thought he saw an alligator
Whoa.
and took pictures.
Oh boy.
The possible sighting has created some buzz at Dominic Lafino Park.
Park name's crazy.
Yeah. James Bond was fishing at the park
No. The kid's name's James Bond.
when he
Is this
saw
real?
the gator.
Bond?
That's what he told the reporter.
That's crazy. That's insane.
He originally thought it was something else until he got a closer look. The first thing I had in my mind was that maybe it was an otter, because you know how they have their head up and their stomachs poke out. Then I zoomed in on my phone and realized there were scales.
This kid is nuts.
And we have the pictures that we'll post along
Cut
with
to the
this.
pictures.
Cut to
The photos circulated online, bringing curious people to come check it out. But those pictures are what brought you out here. Yeah, pretty much.
Is this a quote or you're singing a song?
This is a quote.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So I'm like, hey, let me go out there and just kind of look around and see what it is and what's going on, said Trent Sheff of Beaver Creek resident. After Bond took the pictures, he called Beaver Creek police to report it. The police department posted about the sightings on Facebook.
Of course they did.
City of Beaver Creek is aware of a report regarding an alleged alligator sighting at Dominic Lafino Park. We take these reports seriously.
Why?
and have reached out to wildlife agencies to assist with the investigation. A post reads. There was later a post by the city of Beaver Creek saying that they found nothing.
Hey guys, we would like to apologize. Apparently Mr. Bond is not a trustworthy source. A heck of an agent, don't get me wrong.
Who would have thought James Bond would have lied to us?
Yeah. That's about alligators of all things.
Yes.
But they had like the video of it talking to the kid.
They do.
James Bond.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah.
Was he in a suit?
No.
Yeah.
But
He's in a suit.
But I saw that. I thought, you gotta be kidding.
Martini and...
He's doing a Sean Connery voice the whole time.
Yeah,
I shot an alligator.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's just
Did it make you nervous? I was shaking, not stirred.
That would make you nervous.
I wouldn't say I was stirred. I mean, what the heck? That's insane. I just don't feel like that. You think that's crazy, Scott?
Yeah.
I knew this goofball one time thought he heard a bear in Clark County.
A bear?
Nobody said that they heard a bear.
Nobody. I take it this is... He's talking about you. Yes.
Well, somebody got really defensive.
I said I don't know what I heard, but it was enough.
Sounded
It was
like...
disturbing. Whatever it was didn't want us there.
Was
We
it
left.
not a bear? It wasn't not a bear, for sure.
We were just taking a hike.
Well, it didn't want us there. What are you doing? What are you trying to do?
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just saying.
I'm
hear what he's
embellishing. I'm in the act of embellishing right now.
Your mom was with
doing,
me.
He's doing the thing. He's trying to take this, make it not a bear. He's trying to make it a big. He's trying to do Bigfoot.
I figured we're...
That's not what I'm trying to say either. I don't know what it was. It could have been a big buck. But it was like
kid show.
exhaling.
This is a kid show.
And it sounded very aggravated.
Ooh.
So just you heard that and you're like,
No.
well, this something's up.
No, we heard it like...
Get out of here.
Something's up.
If it's not a bear, it's a mythical creature. We gotta go.
As we heard it, we like decided right then we're leaving, and we could hear it
you
like
hear-
all the way out.
Did you hear an
of
audible
the area
gasp?
where
Did you hear an audible gasp?
it was just very loud.
That sounds
very
scary.
disturbing.
So you,
And bear have been sighted in Ohio.
Southern Ohio?
Well,
No, they've spotted them in like Montgomery County before, Greene County, I think Champaign County. All around us, they've been spotted.
Champaign County.
I'm pretty sure.
Champaign County.
what about a dog man?
Could have been a dog man.
Those, I've heard those are out there.
Got a lot of those out there.
They're supposed to be like werewolves kind of thing.
Out by the
With like a
reservoir.
human face.
Oh, no, they weren't.
That's not.
Out by the reservoir?
That's not saying out by the reservoir.
No, they're up north more.
Can't talk about. This is a family podcast. Can't talk about who's hanging out at the reservoir.
No, these guys don't hang out
This
there.
wasn't at the reservoir. It was
Not enough
near
food
the
there.
reservoir.
Oh, it was reservoir adjacent Reed Park.
No, it wasn't.
It was
Reed
a
Park.
goose. You're telling me it was a goose this whole time?
It was out.
It could have been a bear. Could have been a Bigfoot.
No.
It was 100% a Canadian goose.
It was a goose.
This whole time you're getting us, trying to get us going, get us all stirred up.
Was it a goose?
No.
Was it
It
not a
didn't
goose?
sound like one.
It's definitely not a goose.
But it sounded like a bigger animal.
Yeah, it sounded like a very large animal. That
Describe what from the sound of it, describe what this animal would have looked like.
I don't know.
Could you sketch it?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
But
I
you
saw
felt
nothing.
it. But what did you feel? What?
sketch.
All right. Lay everything aside. I want you to go.
I was shaken and stirred.
I want you right now to say, okay.
As was your mom.
No
We looked at each
hesitation.
other and we're like, we're getting out of here.
Let's play sound.
Kim heard it too.
Yeah.
But let's play sound association. You hear the sound. What animal?
Grizzly bear.
That's
Grizzly bear.
That's
Grizzly
Perhaps
bear.
polar.
polar bear. Polar bear.
I don't know. Could have been a lion. Remember when all those lions
Oh,
escaped?
that's true. They had lions.
They got all
out.
those.
Zanesville.
It was a massacre.
That was out in Zanesville, though. Yeah, that'd be a long migration over the reservoir.
They said they got them all.
They said they got them all.
Listen.
Whatever this was, didn't want us walking through there that day.
I like to think it was Harambe, and he made it out.
He made it out.
Could have been.
And that circles us back to the very. Yeah, that's nice closing.
That is a nice
That's my
closure.
dream. My dream is this Harambe.
Do you guys have something for us? One of you guys?
I got nothing for you.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
do it again?
Do it again.
All right.
Copyright infringement.
Probably. Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day.
Good night.
The Whatchagonnawannado podcast is brought to you by Scott Dog Productions and is made possible by viewers like you.